welcome to Half the Battle. It's main character May again, and I have to admit I had some problems with picking this year's character.
You see, last year was supposed to be Scarlet, but due to medical issues, I was unable to work for all of May. It was only due to HAC 788 stepping in like a hero that we got the Scarlet review at all.
So the way I do main character May is I alternate between good guys and bad guys.
Last year was a good guy, so this year it should be a bad guy. But since I didn't do the review myself last year, shouldn't it be another good guy?
It was difficult. Good guy, bad guy. But then I thought,
¿Por qué no los dos?
And that's why you're getting Storm Shadow this year, who was both a bad and a good guy.
you're welcome.
And today, we're taking a look at the classic action figures, starting of course with version 1. So meet Storm Shadow. This figure was released in 1984 with all original body parts. What's remarkable is that it was a really popular figure. It wasn't just sold in 84 and 85, but also in 86. That's 3 years, while most other figures only ever got a 2-year run. Even Duke, released the same year, was only sold carded in 84 and 85. Same with Snake Eyes version 2, though that was 85 and 86.
I can't think of any other figure that was available for 3 straight years.
As an aside, this figure was also really popular in Belgium, as it wasn't just released carded, but was also made available through mail order. That means there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of Storm Shadows at flea markets during the late 90s and early 2000s. Something I took full advantage of back then.
But let's talk about the toy itself.
So what can I really say here? I mean, yeah, it's just a really excellent figure. He's a great looking ninja, which is no doubt why the toy was so popular. He's got a simple but superb color scheme of white with some black. Detailing is pretty nice. There's weapons on the chest and the wristbands look really good.
The only bits of criticism I have mostly to do with the way the toy ages.
Since it's from 84, the head only moves left and right. Both the black parts and the Cobra logo can easily get scratch damage. The worst thing is, as many of you will know, Storm Shadow figures are extremely prone to yellowing, where the white parts get discolored over time. All that does make finding a pristine one a little difficult and expensive.
For accessories, he had quite the bundle.
There's a long sword and a short one, a frankly unimpressive looking bow, and a pair of nunchucks. And all of these fit into a really unique and cool looking backpack. All these things really add to the character of the toy. I really can't say much more about this figure. The only words that do it justice are terms like great, excellent, superb.
So let's move on.
And meet Storm Shadow version 2. This figure was released in 1988 with all original body parts, and is both an update and reinvention of the character. He's no longer with Cobra and has become a Joe. He's still white overall, but with dark grey highlights now, and a sort of camo pattern that isn't bad, but I'm not sure the figure needed that. Instead of molded on weapons, he now has a long rope on his torso. The best part of the detailing is the Arashikage tattoo on the right arm, something that was invented for the comic and got incorporated in this figure. I'm almost amazed they made an entirely new sculpt instead of just repainting version 1 and remove the Cobra logo.
For once, I'll give Hasbro credit on this one.
The bad part about version 2 is the same as the first one. It too is prone to yellowing, which can make the toy a bit ugly. For accessories, he still has a sword and a bow that's a lot bigger and better looking than the first one. He also has a claw that attaches to his wrist and a backpack that can hold the sword. I don't really like the red here, it really clashes with the figure. Overall though, yeah, it's still a pretty damn great toy.
Next, it's time for Ninja Force.
So meet Storm Shadow version 3. This figure was released in 1992 with all original body parts. And they sure went in a different direction here. The black and white are almost inverted compared to the original, and for some reason they went with a snow motif? I don't really get why they went for an Arctic look here. I mean, it's not bad looking, and the gold detailing makes him look quite regal, like this is the ninja equivalent of a dress uniform.
Being from the Ninja Force subline meant that he has real ninja action.
In this case called Screaming Whirlwind. This means his arms move up and down. Move one and the other moves too. Though this looks less like a ninja move to me and more like that thing that bushwhackers did. The gimmick also makes it that there's no way to separate the torso if you need to repair the figure, since there's no screw in the back. For accessories, he had a sword and sickle, both white and unremarkable. And these are also the fewest accessories any Storm Shadow from the original line came with. Kinda disappointing. Overall, it's a pretty neat figure, but kinda weird.
And speaking of weird,
Meet Storm Shadow version 4. This figure was released in 1994 with no original body parts, as it's a straight reuse of the Ninja Force one, but is now part of the Shadow Ninjas. Meaning he's translucent and changes color when you put him in hot or cold water. And one of those colors is bluish, and his generic weapons are translucent blue.
hey, wait a minute.
A blue-colored ninja with an ice theme. And this came out in 94. Mortal Kombat came out in 92. Yeah.
I see what you did there, Hasbro.
This is the most obvious Sub-Zero ripoff since Glacier from WCW. Yeah, this is definitely the worst Storm Shadow of the original line.
That's a bit of a sour note to end on, so guess what? We're not gonna do that.
I was just gonna look at the figures from the original G.I.Joe line today.
But I'll do you one better and take a look at one more.
So meet Storm Shadow version 5. This figure was released in 1997 with no original body parts. It's a repaint of version 1 with the same accessories. And like I mentioned in the tier list video, he looks like a blending of the styles of the first 3 figures. First version's costume, second version's grey highlights, and third version's snow pattern. And this blending works pretty good. It's another fine figure and a highlight of the troubled 97 line.
To wrap things up, let me show you where all the figures ended up on the tier lists.
Version 1 was in the best tier, so was version 2. 3 was in the good but weird tier, while the Shadow Ninja went in the worst tier, obviously, and the 97 one got into the good tier. And those were the classic toys, mostly good to great, with one glaring exception.
Next time, we'll take a look at the selection of more modern figures as main character May goes on. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.